Okay, I took a unit apart. What I'm surprised to see is this here. That's usually associated with a resume. So I don't know if somebody put this together, but this is not a resume. Well, you don't have the all the pieces in here. Visually is okay. This has the original filter, which is totally degraded, so I can just break it apart. When they break apart, that usually goes inside. See the little pieces, and they usually go inside and destroy the unit. I'm hoping that it hasn't happened, so we can continue. I'll probably have to change this piece. See if I have one, because I think that will interrupt your operations. This extra spring piece. Yeah, so here's the problem. This is a resume. That R stands for resume, and that this whole bottom half is wrong, unless you had the extra pieces for resume. So somebody put the wrong bottom on this guy, as far as I can tell. Um, you don't have the extra appendage for resume, so I'm thinking you don't have resume. Although this is really pretty. This is all degraded inside. I'll have to throw that away and make something up for a filter. So that's where we are right now. Okay, I opened this up. Um, Inside here, the filter was deteriorating. I had to clean it all out. I'll have to check in here, make sure no filter material got inside to destroy the works. I'm gonna have to test this electrically, the solenoid. And here what we have is a problem. It's a resume unit. The difference is this extra piece. That will not work with the regular unit. That will screw it up. But what's good news is it looks like the base is intact. Looks like there's been really no use, maybe no use at all. This looks brand new, but unfortunately they put the resume with. So I'll have to, I can keep this, but I have to get rid of this. Hopefully I have one that's a standard one. I'll try contacting you to see what the story is. Okay, I'm testing this unit, this cruise control. What I'm testing is this part, the solenoid. What I do is I ground it, I get an ohm meter, and I look at the hold and engage. Should be about the same. They are 6.1. 6 ohms is a good value. The light should be open or nearly open, and I don't know, that reading is kind of strange. I'm gonna see if I can improve this. Also, when I move the solenoid in, I push it in, that should go to near zero, and it's not. So I'd say that cruise light might not be working. I'm gonna work on that. I cleaned up the cruise on light, and I'm gonna have to check some of my other ones. 8 megos probably won't turn the light on, so I'm not too worried. When I push it in, it should go to near zero. Yeah, well, 1.5. It's kind of bouncing around a little. Yeah, 1 is very good. So hopefully that stays. Inside looks pretty good right now. I cleaned out the debris. And that little hole, let me get a pointer. This little hole to the right, down at the base, is the vacuum vent to the outside. So what I can do is I can test that for leaking. Some of them leak. So what I do is I actually just put my mouth on the small one and I suck, and when I press that it should be holding, and it's holding quite well, so that's okay. This switch sometimes fails. This is a low speed switch. This one right here. Since I'm getting the same reading on both hold and engage over here for ohms, that switch is good. So I think everything's okay electrically, and what I'm going to do now is actually fire it up with 12 volts on either one of these terminals, and the solenoid should engage, should move in. That's the next phase. Okay, the next test is actually to give it power. I already checked the ohms. Ohms look very good. And what I do is I ground the case and I touch to hold or engage, and that solenoid moves nice and crisp, moves great, covers the unit, closes the grabbing arms. So I'd say that that's good. It's a good solenoid, and good switch in there as well. So we're okay here. Okay, I went through my supply, and like I said, this is a cruise. That's extra piece with the spring inside. This is non-cruise. And based on our phone call, I'm rebuilding a non-cruise. There's a tiny risk, I've only seen it once, that the spring, I believe that they're calibrated. And if you have a really powerful motor, it's possible that the spring would need to be a different calibration. This I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this out. It doesn't belong in your car. And when I say based the assembly, it's this part that has the input-output cable, speedometer cables. The part is in very good shape. Looks like it's not been used. And I'll just replace this with this. This will go in here like that. So I'll do that, and I'll do some bench testing, and that should be it. I'll make another video, I think. Okay, this step, I assembled it. I put your I replaced the unit, as I said, this assembly here, with one with a solid drum. And right now I just put it together. Before I screw it together, I just want to test the switch. It's a low speed switch, so when it's clockwise it opens the switch and we should see 6 ohms. When I turn it clockwise, it goes off. So that switch is working correctly. I like to set it just where it barely turns off, so we get a good low speed performance. So that switch is working, the drum's working, and I'll move on to other tests. Okay, this is the low speed turn on switch test. It tests the drum, it tests the switch. It actually tests quite a bit more than you would think. So what I do is I spin it counterclockwise, and it goes to 6 ohms. So that's working correctly. Okay, so I've put the assembly back together. I did the low speed test. Switch, everything's working. It spins correctly. It sounds okay. Turn this, and it's completely quiet. It's good. That means it's not scraping inside. That's what we want. I fully checked out the solenoid. That's good. So I'm just kind of trying to get that R off there because that's incorrect. It's really sticky. It's kind of difficult to get off. So I don't know how much I can get the sticky part off. It's an old sticky label, I think. But that's what I'm trying to do. Please forgive me if I don't make it perfect. But I got the R out. We don't want the R on there because someone will think there's resume inside, and I took that out and I replaced it with non-resume. Just want to show you what makes a resume. See the R? You had an R, that was all it was left, was the R, but the R always means zoom. So I took that label off. Yours, made it nice and clean. What you need is this extra appendage. It's a solenoid vacuum switch. It looks like a 2-wire. So you would need in your wiring harness not only the 3 wires, this is a 2-wire, Um, you would need the three wire, which actually is a 2-wire and a 1-wire, is how it is on my catalog. But you'd also need this extra connector for the 2-wire, which is the resume, and it's clearly a vacuum solenoid. So you don't have that, so that's why we're proceeding as though it's not a resume.